sources of quality protein. And the reason I say that is because you have essential and non-essential amino acids. Non-essential amino acids are ones that are made within the body. You don't need to ingest them. Essential amino acids are ones that you need to intake outside of the body. And so your quality proteins are going to have complete amino acids. You're going to have a complete array of essential amino acids, the ones you need to ingest outside of that your body cannot make. And the problem with a lot of the vegetarian diets and plants is they have incomplete proteins. They don't have all the essential amino acids. So a good protein is going to have a full array of essential amino acids, and you're going to find that from lean meats, dairy, even good protein powders, casein, whey protein. Soy is another good source. Well, one thing I would say about soy is some people tend to have a sensitivity to it. So if you notice, pay attention to that. You know, sometimes people need to eliminate soy, but it is a non-animal source of protein. The caloric value is 4 calories per gram, and I recommend about 30% of the diet come from protein. And a lot of people, I would say, are sitting right around 10%. That was kind of the old school way of thinking, but protein, like I said, we'll go back to that. Not so much that we're worried about muscle growth and recovery, but we're worried more about the hormonal things that it does. It actually stimulates important hormones like leptin. Leptin is a hormone that actually makes you feel like you're hungry. It's another hormone that tells you, that makes you, let me rephrase that. I've been up since 5, so my brain's not always working right, but leptin is the hormone that actually makes you feel full. And glucagon is another hormone it stimulates, which actually tells your body to release energy, fat, a lot of times, it release stores for energy. So it's your fat-releasing hormone, where insulin, the opposing hormone, is kind of more of your storage hormone. And you want to stimulate that release hormone to get your body more into that fat-burning environment. Protein also takes calories to break down. Your body has to burn calories to break down protein. Whereas with carbohydrates, it can start breaking them down. As soon as you put them in your mouth, it can start it breaks them down rather quickly. It doesn't have to expend as much energy. So a natural way to get your body to just increase your thermogenesis, or the natural uptake, natural calories your body produces, is to eat a little more protein, and that'll force your body to burn more calories and metabolize that protein. And you'll notice when you start adding protein to every single snack or meal, you'll tend to feel more full, and it'll stay with you longer. This is where I see a lot of people fall short. They come in and they give me a breakfast, and breakfast has oatmeal. It's good, has good carbohydrates, oatmeal and fruit, and they'll say, "Where's your protein?" Well, it's in the oatmeal. Well, it's 5 grams of protein. That's only 5 grams of protein from a plant source, which is an incomplete protein. That is not a good protein serving. A good protein serving is going to be anywhere, I would say, at least, on the low end, maybe 15 to 30, 40 grams, depending on how big you are. If you're a woman, then you're a little bit lighter. 15 grams is probably good. If you're a guy, maybe right around 30 to 40 grams, depending on how big you are. Okay, 30% of your diet should come from protein. So if we did the math, 4 calories per gram, just to kind of see why that's important. Let's say your caloric rate, your daily caloric rate is around 2,000. So if you took 2,000 and did the math, 30% of 2,000 is 600 calories. 600 calories, that would mean 600 calories out of your 2,000 a day roughly should come from protein. If you divide that number by 4 calories per gram, that gives you about 150 grams. So I get that question all the time, what gram range should I shoot for? And so when you start breaking it down, that gives you a gram range. So if you're 2,000 calories a day, and we're looking at carbohydrates, which is 40%, that's 800 calories from out of a 2,000 calorie diet. 800 calories is 40% of 2,000. 800 divided by 4, that's 200 grams of carbohydrates. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? Or should I put it on the board? Okay, so that's why calories, when you start figuring out, when you start kind of know where you're at, that's why good programs like Daily Burn and things like that will actually figure that out for you. We'll give you a range, but that's roughly where they'll sit. They use that, it's just calories per gram. And then just remember, what protein is always going to come from animal sources. I mean, most good proteins are come from animal sources, with the exception of soy and tofu. And I don't know, have you got any tofu fans in here? Nobody? I didn't think so. But it's really tough, and that's where you see where dead vegetarians. I recommend, if you're going to use grains, use whole grains. And whole grains is not the instant oatmeal. Like I saw one yesterday. I was telling them that oatmeal would be a good substitute. They were eating the maple brown sugar instant packet oatmeal, which they're loading a bunch of sugar and fake fruit in there. Versus get the old-fashioned oatmeal, cook it longer, add some fruit in, add some nuts in, versus getting the pre-packaged, if that makes sense. makes sense. You know, like I said, the wild rice is another one. People will try to do rice and they'll do like one of the boxed rices I see a lot of, versus go get the fresh one, put some chicken broth, do something like that. Prepare, you know, the rice that you get in the bins versus the rice you get in the box. Fruits and vegetables are great sources of carbs. When I look at carbohydrate timing, I tend to tell people to eat their carbohydrates earlier in the day, the starchier ones, and the fruits where you have more sugars and more tend to be more calories from carbs, because you're going to tend to burn them off early in the day. At night when you're sleeping, you're not going to tend to burn them off, so I would pull back on your carbs a little more at night and get more of your carb sources from vegetable sources at night, more of your fibrous carbs. So if you look at carbs, you can actually group them in two categories: starchy carbs being your grains, those type of things, and then your grains and legumes like beans, things like that, are going to be your more starchy carbs. And your fruits, I would eat those. I would call those like more of your natural sugar carbs. And then your fibrous carbs, all your green vegetables, your salads, those kind of things, I would eat more of those later in the day. And that's something we did back in bodybuilding. It seems to work because at night you tend to shuttle down and you're not going to be burning as much. So, you know, when you're not burning your carbohydrates, they're going to store as either glycogen or body fat. And so really by taking your carbs down at night, you give your body, force your body more rely on its storage, which is part of that is your fat stores at night versus you know, having a big carbohydrate meal before bed. So once again, 40%, and then remember this too, when you're looking at nutrients, every gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. So when you see 20 grams of carbohydrate, that is 80 calories. So multiply those grams times 4 with the exception of fiber. Fiber is classified as a carbohydrate, but it has no calories in it. So if you see 20 grams of carbohydrate and 5 grams is fiber, you got to minus that 5 grams off of that, so it's really only 60 calories. So fiber is classified as a carbohydrate, but it doesn't have any calories. So it's a little bit confusing, but 4 calories per gram. So it's real helpful to know when you look at a food when you're going out shopping. You can do some quick math in your head. If you break down what percentage is carbohydrate, what percentage is protein, what percentage is fat. If you know the calories per gram, it's a lot easier to do that, because gram for gram, they're not all equal. People tend to forget that a lot. They tend to think a fat gram is equal to a carb and protein gram, when it's not as really as what you'll see coming up. Protein. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here because this is the nutrient I see a lot of people need to eat more of. And I'm not trying to turn everybody into a bodybuilder here, but protein has much more. We all know it's for growth and repair of tissues. It's important for that. I mean, it's pretty. You know, you always see the bodybuilders are drinking them, or the weightlifters are drinking the protein drinks and things like that. But protein does a lot more for that. And we're going to get a little bit more into a little bit later into what is controlling your blood sugar is an essential key thing to keeping cravings down, to helping your body burn more fat. So one of the things protein does is it helps keep your blood sugar stable. And I don't know anybody here is eating like a big high pasta meal, and then all of a sudden you feel that crash that comes afterwards. That's unstable blood sugar. Or like maybe you start eating, you know, a bag of pretzels or a bag of chips, and you get that uncontrollable. You just want to keep eating and eating and eating. That's unstable blood sugar. Nighttime cravings, unstable blood sugar. Where you feel like you're addicted to carbohydrates, that's all related back to unstable blood sugar. So one of the things we teach people is every meal that you eat, every meal or snack, you should have protein in it, and quality protein. And you want to distinguish what's a protein and what's a carb. Proteins are always, most always, not always, but most proteins are going to come from animal sources. So all your meats, obviously we know meat is protein, but eggs, dairy, and then the exceptions are like your soys and your tofu, some of those, like you see those vegetarian proteins. But the best sources of protein are going to be more animal-based.